but you can definitely tell that it is tearing up. Like, it literally makes it textured. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, where I go around the globe and the internet trying to find art supplies that will benefit you as an artist to either make the craft that much more enjoyable or just help you get faster or have a better material to help you along your career. Now today we are going still to another marker set. We found the Ecoline brush pen. I'm interested in seeing this. I've seen this around in like Michael's, and I'm like, I wonder how these are, because the packaging is really kind of interesting. It's got this nice design and stuff on it, but I was like, I wonder if these are any good, because they just seemed interesting, right? And I was like, let's pick these up and try them. Now they are a brush pen and it is a single tip, so as you all know, I am not a brush guy, so getting these is going to be an interesting challenge, and I'm very interested to see if they're even worth it. So, come on. Let's go check it out. Alright, so the Ecoline is another, marker set that is in just a clear plastic container, although they have seemingly a design. So they got a little image on here, right? And they got a nice little kind of fade things, which adds to the cost because it's just, this packaging that is kind of weird. And I mean, it's cool, but I don't know, if you're gonna spend the money to do something like that, you might as well give us a better packaging, in my opinion. All right, so the Ecoline says it's a set of 5 brush pens with concentrated transparent watercolor paint. Can be combined well with digital work. The brilliant colors are due to the use of dyes. To retain the colors, store the artwork in portfolios, adheres well to watercolor paper, drawing paper, and cardboard. Separate brush pens available in 59 brilliant colors and a blender to make colors lighter. Okay. So it's water paint. So I guess we're going to have to break out the watercolor paper as well. I'm interested to see how that works. Alright, so we got five markers here. Oops. There. Okay. Oh my goodness. They feel like a Crayola marker. Alright, they feel like a Crayola marker. It's very plasticky. But, I mean, I don't know any better way to explain it except for they feel like a broad-tipped Crayola marker. Oh, but that brush is really nice. Very sturdy brush. Not very flexible yet. Just like the last episode that we did had a very flexible brush. But this one seems pretty sturdy. Let's see if there's a snap. Yep. Light snap. Okay, and then it's got a place for the cap on the back, which is always a plus in our book. So it does cap right there. You don't have to worry about your cap. Let's see. So it's so 24. So there are numbers on here. They're very high numbers. 704, 728. So I believe these are just different colors. Like this is definitely a blue-gray. So let's just try them out. See what happens on this paper, and then we will definitely try it on some watercolor paper, since that was the first thing that it said it would be good on. Oh. Wow, like it instantly beads up. Oof. Wow. You see that? Like it does not like this paper at all. It just was like bead. I mean, and it's instant. It's cool. It's an interesting effect, right? But the water in this, ooh, oh, wow! I think we'll be pretty quickly done with these. These are cool. I mean, it's just not. I mean, it's like I said, it's a cool effect. but it's going over it, it's just instantly tearing up the paper. Ugh. Oh my. Like I said, it's a cool effect. And it lets the water out real quick, you know, it lets the ink out pretty quickly. And it dries relatively fast on the paper, but you can definitely tell that it is tearing up. Like, it literally makes it textured as soon as it goes over. So, I mean, it's interesting because it dries really, really fast, right? It dries insanely fast. The coverage, right? So it being able to come out of the marker is really, really fast, right? It seems like there's a lot of coverage that happens. The nib itself is actually pretty good, right? You can do some really nice thick to thin lines, some nice feathering with it, but it is just beating up the paper. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that before. But, you know, for what it is, which is, you know, the brush marker and stuff like that, this works really well. It's just, it is not necessarily like this paper. It is not liking the paper whatsoever. There's not even a need to try and do it with pen yet because it just tears up the paper. So, we're gonna look. New one? Nah, here we go. Here's the watercolor. Nope, one marker. Alright, just gonna go with this then. Alright, so we're gonna move this out of the way because it did not like it whatsoever. I was not anticipating it being that way. So we're just gonna do some watercolor paper because it said that it works good with watercolor paper. So let's try that out. Alright, is this? Nope, sorry, there's a marker. Do the marker one as well. Alright, here we go. Watercolor. Here we go. I mean, the thing is that it goes down. Oh, see? Like it's really good. It seems like you have the ability to do some interesting things. See, it blends way better with watercolor. With watercolor paper, it doesn't insta eat up the paper, and then it blends really nicely into the watercolor paper. Try this one. All right, and I think the coverage is actually better. So we're gonna let that dry a little bit. But then again, yeah, it stays like the watercolor paper allows it to stay on the paper, of course, you know. If you don't okay, so it's just like most water-based markers. So if you can hit it, all right, if you can just in one take, just right, it's gonna blend itself really nicely together. If you go over it again, right, then it doesn't like it. So this is definitely a one and done, right? Like, so you're coming in to color, and you're going, you know, and you're just going straight to flow over the top. And then you can get to, you know, like, it dries really nicely, but it doesn't seem like it likes to go over things more than once. Right? So if you mess up, you're gonna definitely see it. I wonder what will happen if we go back over it. All right, same color, just going over it again. Seeing what's happening. Right, because I mean, look at the difference once this dries. So, but then it seems like it just stays, like the color just stays on top. I'm impatient, we all know that. But I don't know. All right, we'll just do one and see what happens there. I mean, it stays on top. I think like if you're able to go over it once, let it dry, and then you come over it again, that's the color. Like, whoops, that was the wrong one. All right, so let's try that over here. That was definitely the wrong color. But if you go over it again, it seems like that becomes the more true to the cap, right? Let's see, even here, like if you can come in afterwards and kind of like circle it in so that it has a nice blend to it, I guess it would work. But I don't know, maybe I just don't have the right paper, or I'm looking at this the wrong way or something, but this is not at all what I expected. All right, so we just got done reviewing the Ecoline brush pen, and I have to say these are not worth it for me. The consistency of the marker and the pen, right? Like how it came out on marker paper, on high quality marker paper, and it just ate it up. Just put it over there and, you know, it just beat it up, made it textural. It was an interesting effect. Like, I like the idea of it being effect, and it might actually be usable in a mixed media type of fashion, but for what I would try and do with like a brush pen, a marker pen or something like that, it was not working. And then, you know, it took me a second, but we went over and got some watercolor paper to try it, and it did work better with a watercolor. It did. It absolutely worked better with watercolor paper, but still not the best. And it was more or less like a one-shot, like you gotta get everything covered. The watercolor paper at least allowed it to stay on top of the paper, and you could blend it in a little bit. But if you were trying to go over it again, you know, it does have its issues. And then if you went over it with the same marker twice, then it did start to resemble a cap a little bit more. But these were not worth it to me. They're just not worth it. Now, if for any reason that you are like, man, I love Ecoline, I've been using it for years, if I've missed something, please let me know. Drop me a comment and I will check them out again, you know, and try and do something different with them. But as of right now, these are just not worth it. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this episode of Is It Worth It? I hope that you got something from it, or that you found it useful in some way. Now, if for any reason there is a product that you would like me to try and review, please drop it in the comments below and I will gladly add it to the list. If you are new to the channel and the Is It Worth It series, please go ahead and subscribe and go ahead and hit that bell notification so that you will be notified every single time we put out content. Thank you guys so very much, and I will see you at the next episode.